We'll try j, and we're going to make a change to it. We're going to do 3. It says minus 2x over x minus 2 minus 5x over x minus 5. I believe that the mistake was right here. At least that's what my students told me. So change this to this. That's going to be our problem, okay? They have a problem on the worksheet. Now I am going to make another change to this. No subtraction of fractions, right? I have to change it to adding the opposite. This change was just a mistake, guys. This change is on purpose, okay? It's just making the subtraction into adding the opposite. What else do I have to do? 3 over 1. Now I'm going to multiply by what's missing, because there's no factoring, is there? Nothing to factor. Remember, this is a big thing, and this is one thing. Here's a very common mistake. A lot of people are going to be tempted to cancel this 2 with this 2. You can't do that because there's a subtraction going on here. They're going to be tempted to divide this negative 5 with this negative 5. Can't do that. This is one big thing, okay? Now, if there was a negative 5 all by itself in the denominator, then I could divide them, couldn't I? See the difference? Okay? As it is, what's missing from this one?
X minus 2.
X minus 2. What's missing from this one?
X minus 5.
Anything from here?
Both.
Both of them. All right. We have some multiplications to do. Remember, we have a common denominator that we need to write. Let me explain something. I know I've done this a million times and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I probably need to explain it again. A few people wait for me to write down the answer and then they dutifully copy what I write. You shouldn't be doing that. I have a perfect example of why this is absolutely and totally worthless. I had a student come to my community college class and brought her daughter. She was 8 years old. We were doing these problems. And her notes were so complete and so beautifully written that I actually photocopied them and used them for notes for other students that missed class. The 9-year-old. Unfortunately, she didn't understand a thing we were doing. But she could copy the notes, couldn't she? She didn't get anything out of it, but she copied it really nicely. Don't do that. You need to work ahead of me. You need to write down what x minus 2 times x minus 5 is. If you make a mistake, so be it. Cross it out, fix it. But work ahead. The timing is everything here. See that 3? That's a problem, isn't it? You're going to have to multiply these and distribute, right? It's a hassle. I'm going to go ahead and do it in 2 steps. You can do it in 1 if you want, but I'm going to leave this 3 outside, and then I'm going to multiply x minus 2 times x minus 5. What is it? X squared.
Squared minus 7x.
7x plus 10. There we go. I'm also going to distribute the 2x to both parts. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. That's going to be 2x squared minus 10x. I just distributed the 2x both parts. I also need to distribute the negative 5x. One of the changes I made early was to make that negative. If you don't do that, you're going to end up distributing a positive 5x and you're going to make a mistake. What's that?
Negative 5x squared.
Plus
10x.
10x. Almost done. I need to distribute that 3 to every part. And I'm going to go ahead and do it right up here. This is 3x squared minus 21x plus 30. I'm adding my entire set of numerators here. I have 3x squared, 2x squared minus 5x squared.
Isn't it 0?
No x squareds. They're gone. Here's 5, 2, and 3 minus 5 is 0 x squareds. Now I have a negative 10x and a positive 10x. 0, huh?
0.
So what's left up here? Negative 21x plus 30? Yeah. We always like to write our highest powers of variables first. We call it descending order. Notice that I wrote it in descending order. See that? It's x squared, then I have an x, and then I have no x's. In this one, does everybody see I have an x here and then no x here? Okay, we always do that. This number in front is called a leading coefficient. We don't want leading coefficients to be negative, so when I factor, I'm going to factor a negative out. What's the common factor? 3. So I'm not going to factor out a 3, I'm going to factor out a negative 3. The reason is that you want a leading coefficient to be positive. So I'm going to factor out a negative 3 from each part. And what's left? Positive 7x, right? Minus 10. And see if you see that answer. It says curve under it. Yeah? Yeah. So in the box J, you're supposed to put curve. There was a typo.